Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another Milsurp Monday video. In today's Milsurp Monday video, we're going to be taking a look at the kind of famed, infamous Mosin Nagant. A lot of people refer to this rifle as kind of the garbage rod of the military surplus world. Personally, with me, I actually really enjoy the Mosin Nagant. This was my very first military surplus rifle that I ever got, and when I look at the Mosin Nagant, I specifically see a very economical, affordable rifle that is military surplus that a lot of the people out there, especially a lot of younger people out there, I got this rifle when I was 18, so a lot of younger, kind of teenagers out there that are looking to get into a military surplus rifle, they can get into a Mosin Nagant for maybe like 150, 190 bucks. So they're not pretty, but they do work. So I've never had any hiccups with my Mosin Nagant. It shoots great. I wouldn't say you're going to get stellar accuracy or a stellar trigger pull out of it, but that's just kind of the name of the game with Mosin Nagants. This particular Mosin is a cylinder receiver. You will see cylinder and hex receivers. Generally, the hex receivers are a little bit more sought after because they're said to be of a little bit of a higher quality. As far as the markings on here, you guys probably won't be able to tell because it's a little faint. It almost looks like it's been kind of refinished over. But that cartouche there is saying that it's basically been manufactured in the Izhevsk manufacturing plant in Russia. And then also you will see underneath that the 1942 there, so that gives you an idea of the date. And there's also a couple of other stampings and markings, and that could have been from importation, that could have been from being captured along its lifetime. It can mean a couple of different things, but the Izhevsk cartouche on there is the most important one in my opinion. It's where the rifle was obviously produced. So the bolt is actually matching. You can see 5147 on the bolt. It's really tough to tell. It was kind of etched into there, and also a 5147 on the receiver. So the bolt is matching to the rifle. There is no serial number on the back of the bolt here, which, again, is pretty common. It's very rare to see a serial number on there. And then the original, looks like the bottom of the dust plate was crossed out, the original serial number. This probably wasn't a matching part. And then you can see the matching serial number to the receiver was there. It looks the same as kind of almost like dremeled in as it is up here. So I don't know if that was done after the fact by an importer or something like that to just match the bolt and the receiver to that rifle specifically. This particular model, the wood is pretty beat up. There's definitely some spots where the finish is kind of worn off, kind of chipped off in some places. But again, guys, from seeing my other military surplus videos that I love kind of a little bit of a beat up rifle. I don't like ones that are in pristine shape. I like ones that shoot well but have, a little bit of a history behind them. I really like ones that have, seen combat or seen, different parts of history that are very important. And I would almost bet money that this Mosin definitely saw some combat back in the day. A lot of the times what you'll hear about the circular receiver Mosins is the fact that they were generally produced in the kind of mid-40s when everything was really kicking off, and that was when they started kind of rushing production of them to get them out and get them in the hands of the troops. So when you see the hex receiver Mosins, normally that was when they had a little bit more time and a little bit more money to produce the receivers. You have your sights in the rear. That's kind of a joke. It goes up to 2,000 meters. So if you're shooting a Mosin out to 2,000 meters, I really give you props because it's kind of tough to do that with the trigger and with how well the Mosin groups. So this sling was not the original sling that came with the rifle. I did have a Mosin Nagant sling, but back in the day when I was like 18, I threw it in the garage. As far as I threw the sling in the garage, totally forgot about it, and it got all moldy and rusty and gross. So I did have to source an additional sling. And like I stated in the beginning, guys, this rifle actually shoots really well. I've never had any hiccups or anything like that. Once I got the Cosmoline out of the bolt, it's very rare that I get what you guys will hear referred to as a sticky bolt, a Mosin sticky bolt, and that's when you really have to kind of like beat the bolt up to get it out once it fires around. In the front of the rifle, again, I have no issues at all. There's no like dings. This one's in fairly good shape as far as the metal underneath. The wood is just kind of beat. I'd give the bore probably about 75%, 70-75. It's really not, you know, the best shape as far as the bore is concerned, but it is still not bad for a Mosin Nagant. Majority of what I shoot through this rifle is tool ammo, 7.62-54. I try to stay away from the hardcore corrosive stuff if I can. If it's like the only thing that's out there, obviously I don't mind shooting it through there, but preferably I'd like to stay with Tula, because although it is still pretty nasty ammunition, it's not as nasty as some of the, you know, spam can 7.62-54 ammo that's out there. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Just be sure to kind of flush everything pretty much immediately after you're done shooting it to make sure the salts in that corrosive ammo don't immediately corrode away your bore. So these Mosin Nagants were made by the millions, guys. There's a bunch of these out there, and there still is a bunch of them. So I definitely don't see these rifles getting super collectible anytime soon. But you guys know I do like kind of having these rifles on hand, because you never know when they're just not going to be coming in anymore. And it is crazy because the Mosin Nagant is actually slowly going up in price. You know, you used to be able to pick these up for like a crate of them for like $1,000, and now you're looking at about $200 per rifle. So they're out there, but they are getting a little bit more hard to find. That's going to wrap this video up, guys. I just wanted to give this fugly old Mosin a little bit of a spotlight. To me, the rifles are ugly. They may not have the best bolts or the best triggers or the best bores, but they do hold a small place in my heart. I've always really liked the Mosin Nagant, and again, the main reason that it was this Mosin specifically is special to me is because it was the very first military surplus rifle that I ever got in the collection. Be sure to click those links down in the description. It'll take you to my Facebook and Instagram account. On my Instagram account, I do daily posts, so it'll allow you guys just to see a little bit more inside my day-to-day life, so be sure to give those a follow. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that bell, guys. It'll make sure that you never miss out on any content that I have coming out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.